This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, celebrating 25 years of educating Southwest Florida.
Welcome back, Southwest Florida. The Nation of Islam is on tap. And of course, if it's the Nation of Islam, one of the best newspapers you can get in all of the world is the Final Call. The Final Call, racial terrorism in America. That's okay, John, you don't have to. So we're thrilled to have here Brother Artiium and Brother Tony from the Nation of Islam. Let's bump. Brother Tony, you actually come to us from the Miami area.
Yes, sir.
First of all, how you like over here in Southwest Florida, man? So far, so good?
It's very peaceful. It's very, I don't say country, but that's what it is.
This is the country. No, man, they got to get you into the city before you get out of here. We got some city parts, Fort Myers, Southwest Florida, Naples, and so on.
It's very nice out here.
The Million Man March.
Yes, sir.
Very well branded. 20th year anniversary is coming up.
Yes, sir.
Actually took place in 1995, the Million Man March, and I can remember being actually sitting on TV covering the Million Man March from here in Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. A lot of people took a bus there, and I talked to them down there. So that's a long time ago. I was a little young guy on television. It just seemed like those 20 years went by pretty fast. So the 20th anniversary is going to talk about that 20th anniversary. What's going to take place?
Yes, sir. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has called the march now on October 10th, 2015. And the theme of it is justice or else. As in the black community, we've experienced a tremendous amount of injustice. Likewise, in the Latino community, among the Palestinians, they're experiencing injustice. The Native American experiencing injustice. Poor whites experiencing injustice as well. And so the theme of the march this year is justice or else.
Now, the Latino community is going to play a major role in this march as well?
Yes, sir. Right now, presently, there are phone conferences taking place between the Latino, Native American, other communities that we're talking about organizing and mobilizing, promoting the march. We're on social media. We have websites just dedicated to promoting the message of the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March to these different communities.
The Honorable Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam,
yes, sir,
has a broad message. What in his message has attracted the Latino community?
The broad message, it's a universal message. We have to understand that as black people, we've been stripped of the knowledge of ourselves in our sojourn in this country and beyond. Beyond, we find our Latino family also suffering from the same problem of suffering from the knowledge of themselves. Today we carry around names that are not our names. We carry around names of the European. When we are living in substandard conditions, we think that we deserve to live in these kind of conditions and there's no way out. The Nation of Islam offers the opportunity, the way to come out of this condition, out of drug abuse, out of the horrific conditions that we are in as a people. And as a people, not just black, but Latino, Native American, we see that our oppression, our circumstances are similar. And based on our common reality, based on our common opportunity to come out of this condition, we should band up, seek ways of unifying, and help each other collectively come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Artiium, many people are not that aware that the Latino population ancestry can be traced to Africa. 60% of the Cubans are linked to Africa. Expound on that.
Yes, sir. Well, first, Mr. Pitts, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, and our 7th Region Student Minister, Brother Patrick Muhammad, and Brother Tony and myself, we want to thank you for the prestigious honor of being on your program.
Okay.
Many people do not know over 60% of our Cuban brothers and sisters are of African descent. In fact, the largest population of people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere is actually in Brazil, with over 80 million of our brothers and sisters. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, black is the essence from which all colors come from. So we have brothers and sisters all over. As the minister once said, if God didn't love us, why did he make so many of us?
Now, just to see the both of you sitting here, what message is that sending around the world, for that matter, when we see a Latino brother, an African brother sitting right here, bonding under one accord to move forward with the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March?
Yes, sir. What you see is the end of oppression right now. The enemy wants to divide and conquer. What you see is us underneath the divine guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, putting aside our differences, putting aside what divides us, and coming together for the purpose and the cause of justice, or else, as you will see October 10th in Washington, D.C.
Brother Tony, do you see any, do you encounter any particular situations when working amongst the Latinos in the African American community?
Absolutely. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said that our greatest enemy is ignorance. And we have to do everything that we can to show our commonality as people, cultural ties, common realities that we need to address together. Sometimes when we're dealing with culture, and I'm talking about culture on a broad scale, for many years I organized what was known as the Organic Hip Hop Conference. And both Black and Latino families came together for that conference in Miami. And when they saw themselves in the commonality of hip hop expression, they just absolutely loved it, and it formed dialogues between the different communities. Today we have to know what the common denominators lie between the two different communities so that we could bring them closer together.
Outstanding. Let's talk about the Artiium. Let's talk about the mobilization for 10-10-15, the movement in the Latino community.
Yes, sir. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been on a nationwide tour with our Latino brothers, with our Native American brothers, and also with our rappers and entertainers. I know we, as a youth, many fraternities have been involved as well. In 1995, Phi Beta Sigma, we actually used their headquarters. So we're reaching out to everyone. We have pastors such as Jamal Bryant, our lovely friend, longtime friend of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Reverend Willie Wilson, is on board. So we are mobilizing across the nation.
And would it be fair to say, Brother Artiium, is that 20 years removed from the original Million Man March, that, I mean, I don't know if the word is the correct word, but the Nation of Islam is so well respected and so mainstream. I know you probably don't want to be called mainstream, but people are a lot more comfortable now than, say, 20 years ago when they were disassociating themselves from anything that was associated with the Nation of Islam. And it should be an easier process now to galvanize all Latinos, Blacks, and whomever was going to be a part of the Million Man March. And along that way, will females be involved as well?
Oh, yes, sir. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that we can rise no higher than our women. So it's only right that we have the mother of civilization there with us. Even in 1995, at the original Million Man March, our sisters still was involved. But now, with the times and what it called for, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has opened this up to everyone, and we have to have our sisters there.
Okay.
That's when you know it's time to fight.
Mm-hmm. Go back to me saying people are a lot more comfortable now, the broader community, with the mission of the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches that knowledge may divide, but with patience and time, we get unity with understanding. So maybe then they may not have understood the message, the universal message that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is bringing us, but through time and circumstances, we see that what he teaches us is right on time.
Tony, I can feel that you want to add to that. Go ahead.
Right now is the time to unify. In regards to our sisters, as you were just mentioning right now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has made light that it is women that are actually spearheading these movements, protest movements throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that a mother's love is second only to God. And so why not have our sisters? In fact, it is paramount that we have our sisters there and lift up this voice of what we are experiencing today and why we need this universal cry of justice among us today and why we need that justice to happen among us today.
Now, Artiium, that phone number that's on the screen right now, when people call that phone number, they can get all the details as it relates to the mobilization of getting to Washington, D.C. for the 10-10-15?
Yes, sir. What you can also visit too is strengthofsoul.com, and you will receive more information and the Final Call newspaper, founded by our wonderful publisher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which published weekly.
Why justice or else? And what is Minister Farrakhan hoping to accomplish? Tony, Brother Tony.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that the or else is with God. Whenever, this is universal law, whenever you put out anything, any kind of energy out into the universe, that energy will come back to you. Today we're experiencing too much injustice in the form of police brutality, racism, oppression, and the more that this is performed, the more it'll come back to America. And in fact, we see that coming back to America in the form of wicked weather and other forms of universal conditions, if you will. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a divine grace to us all, not just black people, not just Latinos, not just Native Americans, but also white people, even this government. He is a divine grace to them. And so what we all need to do is take heed to his words so that we could be in line with God himself.
Excellent. Final question. I want to re-emphasize this to you, Artiium. Right now, people want to start opening up their computers. What are some places they need to go to get wired in to the Million Man March that's taking place 10/10/15?
They can go to justiceorelse.com. You can also go to noi.org. And for your weekly Final Call newspaper with up-to-date information, you can go to strengthofsoul.com.
Strength of Soul got you right here. Final Call. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you both on the show.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure.
Look forward to getting you back here in the future, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, as the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like these fine gentlemen from the Nation of Islam who are doing it. Be sure to join us right here next week on the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.